ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम्। Suprabhatam. We all are studying a very nice text, Upadeshasar, composed by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi ji. Different paths are there to reach to our supreme goal. Every seeker must understand what is my prominent path. Once you select the prominent path, then you can take support of other path. Unless and until we discover our prominent path, we cannot take right support of different paths. So therefore, let us understand every path clearly and then understand the quality of our mind, and then one can select one's own prominent path and take the support of other paths of spiritual life. Let us first start with the few shlokas of Jnana Yoga, 17 and 18. Let us chant first. Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam marga arjava. Verse number 17 this was. Verse number 18. Vrittayastvaham vrittimashritaah vrittayo mano vidyaham manaha. In the path of knowledge, that is the path of enquiry, most important aspect to inquire about is our own mind. And this mind is so subtle that n number of people do not understand the play and the game of this mind. Play and the game of this mind. Now, let me just give an example. See, somebody if is addicted to something and he would try his level best to remove that addiction, then this mind creates such an illusion that where there is no pain, there can be pain in the body. Where there is no headache, it can create illusory headache in the body. It can create any sort of wrong notion and give this feeling that nobody cares for you. You are so alone, and so on and so forth. So, this is all mind's creation. This is all mind's game. This is all mind's play. Another aspect, when our mind is not disciplined for a long time, it has all sort of different schedule and erratic schedule rather. Very little harsh word, but erratic schedule. Kabhi bhi sona, kabhi bhi jagna, and eat any time, wrong times, and this and that. Then again we try to discipline the life, same game this mind plays with us. So the seeker has to understand the disturbance of the mind is not only because of some situation or because of some very tough sort of condition in our life, but it can be because of our own mind's illusion. So, how to understand this? When we say Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. So, in these three levels of peace, peace, peace. O Lord, let there be a peace, where on the first Adi Bhautika plane, that means that obstacle, afflictions which can come through all beings of the world. So, Bhagavan protect us from that. Then the second important point, Adi Daivika. O Bhagavan, please protect us from all the great five elements of this universe. They can also cause a great disturbance as well as harm to an individual. Now the third is Adhyatmik. This Adhyatmik is that disturbance, that agitation, that obstacle is by our own body, mind and intellect. See now. So the mind itself creates different sort of illusion, so our path can be distracted, our path can be completely missed out, or again we start thinking whether what I am doing is really a right thing to do, because it creates an illusion and says, see in the world, majority of the people enjoying their life, enjoying the objects of the world. What are you doing? What are you doing? You are a foolish person, having got so much of money and you are not enjoying all the objects of the world. You are the most foolish person of the world. And this sort of different sort of illusion it creates, so it has this type of life which is called as indiscipline, which doesn't want to walk on the path of spirituality because there is so much of discipline, and then the importance of its own, called as importance of mind, goes down, and one day it completely gets dissolved, gets destroyed, and therefore it doesn't allow it to happen. Please note it. Understand, whatever the mind is creating, what is the mind creating? See, the mind says, I am not fine. Mind says, I am not fine. I am not fine of what? No, you know, there was someone who was so dear to me, that person is not there today. And that's what I am not fine. Okay, this is one. Second, no, that desire which I have, if you do not fulfill, I will not allow you to go ahead at all. I am not fine because you are not fulfilling my demand. And so on and so forth. You kept me in one place because of this pandemic and I am suffocating. Let me go in hills. What is there in this plain? This is all sort of creation of the mind. Please understand that mind is such an entity which always take you away from this path if it is not purified. Underline this. If it is not purified, if it is not Shuddha, then distraction is created by the mind of our own. Just imagine. So, very, very important. Having understood this path who wants to take it up should know that okay, this path is a path of a great awareness. This path is of great awareness. And awareness does not become very strong unless and until we have sattvic guna. Awareness does not become very strong unless and until a seeker develops a good prominent sattva in his whole system. And therefore disciplining of the life, therefore doing sadhana is must. Please do not understand that if I walk on the path of knowledge, let me not do any other sadhana at all. That will not help you at all. That will not give you a good sort of support at all. That will not have a strong sort of holding to that path which you want to walk on, because your mind, if it is not pure, it will again push you back. Okay, having understood this, now when it is said, let us enquire. What is the inquiry done first? So it says, Manasantu kim. Ask this question about the mind. Now, let me give another example to make it more clear. If somebody does not have this art or does not have this skill, which is called as swimming in water. Swimming. Okay. Ask the question, why I cannot swim? Question one has to ask, why I cannot swim? So answer, if you are honest, is direct, I have a fear of water. Means that person has a fear of water and that's why that person cannot swim. How can you say so? Now see the support called as logic. Any other being in the world, do you have to teach swimming to a dog, to a cat, to a buffalo, to a cow, or to an elephant? The elephant is so huge, but it does not sink. How? Who is teaching? Because they do not have this conditioning of the mind. The moment they are in the water, naturally they start swimming in the water. Yes or no? That means we are not different than them. We have the same sort of body structure as they have. They have sort of limbs, we have also limbs. They have a body, we have a body. Everything on this physical level what I am talking about. So why can't I swim? So the inquiry and the conclusion is, only because of fear. Got it? Where is the fear? Is it in hand? It is in leg? No, it is in mind. Got it? Now you have caught up that point, you have reached to that point where you can hit directly. Therefore, in this path, the first a seeker must know where is a bondage. Seeker must first, what I have to get? I have to get liberation. Okay, this is our goal. Liberation from the bondage is our goal. Okay, ask this question, what is bondage? Is there someone who is tying us down with the rope or the shackles? No, it is not. Then ask another question. This is called as enquiry. Another question. What is the question? What is the nature of the bondage? What is the nature of the bondage? Then if you study well, then you understand nature of bondage is subtle and is not gross. Nobody has tied us up with rope. No. What is the nature? Nature is subtle. That means bondage is on the level of thoughts. Oh my God, is it so? Vrittayastvaham vrittimashrita vrittayo mana vidyaham manah. That means vritti, that is called as thought, is equal to mind. Mind is nothing but the thought. That means bondage is where? It is in mind. This is called as enquiry. So bondage is subtle. Bondage is because of the wrong notion of our own mind. So it is beautifully said in the Shastra, avicharena kruto bandha, avicharena kruto bandha, samyak vicharena nivartate. That means the bondage is created by wrong notion of our own mind. What is called as liberation? Samyak vicharena nivartate. That means all wrong notions, when we completely remove them, we destroy them by right thinking, then the bondage is absolutely destroyed. Okay, let me be more clear about it by giving this example, because this point should be clear what I want to achieve in life. What is my goal? So my goal is liberation. And what is bondage? Wrong notion of the mind is the bondage. Okay. Then what is the solution? Samyak vichara. Right knowledge is only a solution. Fine. Let me give an example now. As I said, the bondage gets destroyed. What does it mean? That also we have to understand. Example. If there is a darkness in the room, there is a complete darkness in the room, then the only and only solution to remove the darkness is bring a light in the room. Think. Only one solution. Any other solution, if you want to try by any other action, has no importance or has no use in it. So one and one solution. What is that solution? Bring the light. Okay. If you bring the light, now ask this question, that darkness which was there, where it is gone? Where it is gone? So the answer is, it does not have, please note it does not have its own independent existence. It was only appearance because of lack of light. Similarly, the ignorance does not have its own independent existence. The moment you bring the knowledge, it disappears as that of the darkness, and that which we call it as destruction. Okay, hope it is clear. Now we will move to our next enquiry, verse number 19. Where are we? We have seen the first and foremost, idam vritti, aham vritti. There are two vrittis. Idam vrittis, that means this thought, are many because objects are many. But aham vritti is one, and aham vritti, that is called as I thought, is the substratum of idam vritti. Okay. So idam vrittis, okay, vrittayah, they are many, but aham vritti is one. Then the next step we have understood, this mind is full of thoughts, and this aham vritti, that which is one, that aham vritti itself is mind. So we have last time concluded in the last session how this idam vritti and aham vritti, that means actually there are no two, but there is one, and this one is nothing but the mind. And now the next enquiry begins. Verse number 19. Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah, ayamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah, aipatatyaham nija vicharanam, aipatatyaham nija vicharanam. One point we will take it up for the discussion. The first, let us be very clear about every word of this verse. First, ayam, aham kutah. Ayam means this. What is this? So, this aham, I thought, kutah, from where bhavati, is born or arise. So this I thought, from where it arises, from where it is born. This is the first statement. Second, chinvatah, that means with right thinking, means with a very deep contemplation. What is going to happen? Ai means sambodhanatmak. It is called as vocative. Oh, like that. So, oh, aham patati. This I thought false absolutely. Aham patati. I thought false. How? Nija vicharanam. When you take up the self-enquiry, when you take up self-enquiry, the I thought falls down. Absolutely. So, what does it mean? The I thought falls down? Falsification of that thought. Falsification. That means, let me give an example. If somebody says untruth, if someone says untruth and you bring the right truth, so what are you doing? You are falsifying the statement of that person. Simple. You are falsifying the statement of that person. How? By bringing a truth. Yes. Similarly, by right enquiry, by right contemplation, the wrong notion which is there, that has to go. So how it goes away? It is said nija vicharanam, that you have to start self-enquiry. A seeker has to start self-enquiry. So let us start this enquiry one by one. First step, aham, that is called as I thought. We have seen yesterday that on the first level there are two thoughts. One is called as idam thought, one is called as aham thought. Second step, we have understood that there is nothing called as two thought, it is one aham thought. Next step, if you focus on this I thought disappears. This I thought disappears. So, now I am giving an example. This example is important. See, there is called as superimposition. Superimposition. What is called as superimposition? Superimposition means we develop our own idea and that we put up on the object. That we put up on the object. Example, any sort of food item. Let us take samosa. morning, samosa. How did I, thought of it? I don't know. Okay, samosa. So samosa, if there is a samosa and somebody says, my God, I love samosa, I like it. Okay, fine. So what is this mind doing? This mind is developing such sort of superimposed thought of like. Now this is a very important enquiry. This mind is creating this sort of superimposed like thought and it is putting it on the object called as samosa. Now please understand, that means samosa, if this person is eating, that person becomes very happy. Now enquiry. Enquiry. What is enquiry? Okay, your happiness, as you say, is because of samosa. Is because of samosa. So now we want to tell you, if your happiness is because of samosa, we want to inquire. You are happy? Yes, at this moment I am happy. Okay, do you have this guarantee that you will remain happy for a whole day? First point. Question is asked. So nija vicharanam. Vicharanam means you have to ask question. Question then and there. So what I ask the question is, are you giving a guarantee by eating a samosa you will be happy throughout the day? The answer is no, not possible. Okay, fine. So how much time you will be happy? For half an hour. Okay, my dear, if you are happy for half an hour and you feel that samosa is a cause of your happiness, we are providing you now 50 samosas, 50. After every half an hour you eat samosa to become happy, because that's the goal. Okay, now after half an hour, second samosa. After half an hour, next third samosa. After some time, he says, take it away. I do not want it anymore. I don't want to look at it. Now just imagine, this is mind. That mind which superimposes the happiness over the object, the same mind is now superimposing the sorrow, pain as well as dislike on the object. Now ask the question, O mind, what exactly is your status? Is it for you forever a happiness or not? Immediately answer will come, no, forever it is not happiness. Whenever I think, I want, and then only I am happy. That means, whenever I want mean desire. Got it? Want mean desire. That means, whenever my desire gets fulfilled, I remain quiet. And when I remain quiet, the mind that is remaining quiet, there is no agitation. And that's why you experience your own true nature at that moment. And you think that, okay, this what I am experiencing, which is called as peace and bliss, is because of the object. That is wrong notion. That is the wrong notion. So therefore, understand, once you remove this superimposition, that no food is the source of happiness. No food, not one samosa, no food is the source of happiness. How do you understand? By discrimination, by nija vicharanam, by asking a question. How we reached? Then we have reached to that desire. So what is a desire and whose desire? Very important now. Whose desire? Now again let me just give another example. We have reached here, whose desire? Okay. Another point. Another example I am taking, and then again we will conclude. One example. We all are playing different roles in life. We all are playing different roles in life. What are the roles? Mother, father, son, daughter, friend, and so on and so forth. All the roles you play. Now if I ask you, actually which is the most important role for you in all, mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter, which is most important? So somebody can say mother, somebody can say father, somebody can say brother or friend, whatever. Understand, it is only because of identification with that role. It is because of identification of the role. It is not because that the role is actually important or the prime role. No, you are primarily a human being. So your primary role is to be human. First point. So all other roles are temporary. Now just imagine, if you are not a good human being, can you play any of your role to the best of your capacity? Answer is no. Therefore, to be a good human being, that is the first and the foremost important part in our life. What is called as the best human being? Now we are just asking a question. What is called as best human being? See Swamiji, we are not disturbing anyone. We are not going and obstructing anyone's path. We are with our own. We enjoy our life and we earn money and we keep eating and keep enjoying our own money and we have no connection with anyone. ask this question. Is this called as the real joy? That you earn and you only eat. What is we are going to do? I-ness and minus is increasing. Nija vicharanam, enquiry. If you just be very selfish, what is happening? You become more and more strong with your identity of whatever you understand as. Okay. So, having understood this, we have to know again one important aspect. Oh my God, what is called as identification? What is called as identification? How am I developing this I-ness and minus? Okay, now is a point, subtle point. Here the Vedanta says, you are developing this I-ness and minus is because of your own ahankara. This aham vritti, the I thought is ahankara, ego. Oh my God, is it so? Yes. What is ego? In general terms, people explain it as a pride. But in Vedanta, it is explained like this: doership and enjoyership. The notion of doership and enjoyership, that is called as ego. How did I develop? Prakrute kriyamanani gunakarmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma mit ahankara vimudhatma kartah iti manyate. Now this is a point. Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita is explaining how do we develop this ahankar. So this is called as forgetting one's own true nature. One who develops this wrong notion, what? Ahankara vimudhatma kartaha iti manyate. I am the doer of action. I am the doer of the action. Then what is the next step? When I become the doer of the action, I become naturally the enjoyer of my own action. Okay, when I become the doer of my own action, I become enjoyer of the own action. Now, Bhagavan says, here enquire. What is enquiry? Tattva vittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. All these two verses, both these two verses are from 3rd chapter 27 and 28, verse number 3rd chapter 27-28. Tattva vittu mahabaho. Hey Mahabaho Arjuna, you understand the tattva called as essence. Called as essence. Okay. What essence, oh Bhagavan, you want to let me know? This essence. Ask the question. You say you are the doer. Okay. Now, how are you doing the action? Oh, my body is doing the action. Arjuna, what? You mind your own statement. What? You are saying my body is doing my body is doing action. My body, that means you are different than your body. Because you didn't say me as a body doing action. Hope it is clear. This is called as Nicha Vicharanam. Focusing on everything. So Arjuna said, my body is doing action. Okay Arjuna, ask the question, what is body? Bhagavan, what is body? Oh Arjuna, I taught you. What? Tattva Bodh. Okay. So Bhagavan, can you please recollect? Okay. Gross body is nothing but the 5 elements. Which 5 elements? पंचीकृत पंच महाभूतैः कृतम सत्कर्म जन्यम इति ग्रॉस बॉडी. अच्छा, इति स्थूल शरीर. भगवान, एनीथिंग एल्स? षड विकार सहितम. ओके, सुख दुख भोग आयतनम, it is sthula sharira. My God, it is made up of only 5 elements? Yes. Then it is just a sort of vessel to experience sukha and dukkha. Okay. Then what? Shad vikara sahita. Vikara means modification. It is there. Asti, jayate, vardhate. Viparinamate, vipakshiyate. Let me just, because my mind slightly got distracted because of the sound. Okay. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. These are the 6 modifications. That which comes and that which goes. And in between there are different stages. That means this body, that which comes, that which goes, is temporary. Okay, fine. It is only a bundle of 5 elements. Okay. Then what is mind? Apanchikruta panchamahabhutaihi kritam satkarma janyam. Mind, that is called as sukshma sharira, is also made up of subtle 5 elements. My God, that is also elements? Yes. Okay, your transaction is for what purpose? My transaction is for gaining happiness. Okay, okay. Transaction is between what? Transaction is between the senses as well as sense object. Okay, ask the question. Sense objects, what is the nature? They are also of 5 elements. Oh my God, they are of 5 elements and my body is also 5 elements. Then my mind is also 5 elements. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. A person of knowledge who understands there is a natural attraction between the senses as well as sense object. They interact with each other because there is a natural attraction. The interaction is natural. Interaction is natural. Interaction will continue because without interaction there cannot be a life. That does not mean interaction means happiness. No. Here a mind has developed this wrong notion because it is always in search of happiness and it does not know where it is, and therefore it has developed this superimposition that this is what it is. So now come to this level of desire. Level of desire. How? From where did I develop this desire? It's because of vasana. How did I develop vasana? It is because of ignorance. What is ignorance? Not knowing my true self. Okay. Not knowing my true self, this notion is developed which is called as ahankara vritti. How is it so? The mind, that is called as subtle body, when reflects the consciousness, because the mind and intellect has that capacity to reflect the consciousness. After reflecting the consciousness, as mind is not having this right knowledge, it develops this notion. Having reflected the consciousness, that reflected consciousness, it says, this is mine. And this is called as aham vritti. This is called as aham vritti. Is it of mind? No, not at all. It is just because of ignorance. And what it is? It is just a appearance. Why? Because mind is a reflecting media for the consciousness. How is it so? As that of the water. The water surface is a reflecting media for sun rays to get reflected. Now ask that sun rays which is reflected on the surface of water and then getting reflected, is it now the reflection is of water? Is this light which is reflecting is of water? No, not at all. But that water, if says this is mine, this is called as wrong notion. This identification with this so-called as reflected consciousness as I, aham, is called as ahankara. The moment this ahankara is there, it gets identified with the body and says it is mine. And then whatever action is done through body, it says I am the doer of the action, and so the enjoyer. Therefore, one who inquires deeply nija vicharanam, it completely gets disappeared. Why? Because there is nothing called as ahankar. It is just a wrong notion. It is just an identification. It is just an identification. One who understands this can understand that how do I develop all wrong notions in my life. How? If I identify because of the ignorance with this aham, vritti, ahankara, then I identify with the body as me, then whatever is body that I am, fat or slim, fair or dark, rich or poor, then it also says I am of this caste, I am of that caste, and so on and so forth. Again, mind also says I am joyful, I am sorrowful. Then there is a great loss, there is a great gain, then there is an insult, there is a praise. All these are called as identification mark because of wrong notion. The moment you remove this wrong notion, none of this emotion has any substratum. None of these emotion has any substratum. The substratum of all the emotions were this ahankara vritti, and that's why because of that these emotions were gaining that importance. Now emotions will be there, but it is without identification, because the mind is there, thoughts is mind. So it's natural to have the right natural emotions, but because there is no ahankara now, no emotion can make my mind sorrowful. No emotion can disturb me, because I have understood it was because of wrong notion, wrong identification. Think, nija vicharanam. More we'll discuss in our next session. Let us prepare ourselves for the meditation. Wherever you are, take a right posture. Keep your legs straight first, then fold them. See to it that they are fine. Even if you are sitting on the chair, your legs you can fold correctly, or just let it hang on the chair. Keep a mat, and the feet, both the feet should rest on the mat. Let us confirm to yourself your back is straight, your neck is straight, eyes are closed, you are relaxed completely, every body part is relaxed. Let us focus mind just for a minute or two on this breathing process. Observe your own breath. Observe your own breath. That air which comes inside, count it as 1, 2, 3. That which goes inside, outside, count it at 3, 2, 1. Just focus for some time and observe your own breath so the mind can be made one-pointed. Having gained this one-pointedness of the mind, let us recollect all important ideas of today's session. Ask this question: I am, aham, kuto bhavati. This aham thought, from where it is born? Chinvataha. Reflect, contemplate deeply with the right support of the knowledge. Oh, what happened? Aham patati. This I thought falls down, disappears. How? Nija vicharanam. By right inquiry. So understand, if you inquire correctly whenever there is a disturbance, understand it is only because of the mind and its wrong notion. By recollecting a right knowledge from a scriptural background, you can reach to that subtle point that this is just an identification with this wrong notion called as ahankar. The moment I identify with this I thought, it spreads all over other system of body and owns it. That's how I am this body. A thought is developed and I am the doer of the action, the next thought. If I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. And that's how there is a pain and pleasure, there's a joy and sorrow, there's a loss and gain, there is everything called as up and down. There is nothing called as up and down. It's just because of the wrong notion and identification with this assemblage called BMI. Once you remove this ahankar, all the wrong notions disappear. It only can happen by right inquiry. Right inquiry requires right knowledge. It requires a continuous abhyas, a practice of self-inquiry with a deep contemplation. One has to develop this art of asking the question to every step and every experience of our own and reach to the root cause of it. Then you will know, oh, this is just because of this ahamvritti called as ahankar. Falsify it by right knowledge. The moment your ahamvritti is falsified, rest everything remains same, all actions will be there, but now tattvavittu mahabaho, having gained the essence of everything, iti matva na sajjati. There is no identification, there is no attachment, there is complete freedom even while doing the action. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Have a complete gratitude for that Almighty Lord. With His grace, we have this our knowledge as well as beautiful time with us. have gratitude towards everyone in this life, because they are also responsible for what we are today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Namo Narayana